I think I'm live. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Oh, hello everyone. Hi. Hi everyone. Hello user 1. Oh, browser frozen. One moment. Hello user 1, how you doing? Sorry to hear about your cat. User 1 says, Ben, my cat died. I'm sorry to hear that. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Oh, hello everyone. Hi. Hi everyone. Hello user 1. One sec. Browser frozen. One moment. Sorry to hear that user 1. I am. I really am. Very, very sorry to hear, mate. I really am. One sec, guys. Hello user 1. How you doing? Let me just do the usual here and share it around. But sorry to hear that. Really, that's very, very sad. User 1, very much appreciated. I'm sorry to hear that. And, Crafty Knights, hello. And Stephen Truthseeker, hello. How do you do? Clopite. Tina Silver, how you doing? Billy Shears, Martin Taylor. And Israel Diego Rivera, genius to the real genius. How do you do? Hello Lisa, how you doing? Bernie Tucker. Hello Haldon. Hello Nihilist Lives Matter. Hello Jock of Ages, Clopite. My voice returned. Well, I think it's improved a bit, Clopite. Hello Nothing As It Seems. Hello Martin Taylor. How do you do? Hello Woody Black. Hello and we have Power Riot. Hello, how do you do? I'm just going to share this around as usual. So let's put that there for a minute. There we go. Okay, share around. And on Facebook, let's share it on Facebook now. There we are, all done. Hey, I hope you guys are alright. How's it going? Oh, how'd you do? People are asking about September the 24th. What happened? I don't know. Nothing as far as I know. Nothing as far as I know. Anyway, guys, how are you all? Guys, alright? How's it going? Hang on, let me just pause on that. So, hello, how are you getting on? Do I look tired? Alright, maybe I am a little bit. Anyway, Wayne RS4, how do you do? I'm feeling better. I still got this problem in my voice. It may be, Crafty Darkness. No, you're not invisible. I can see you. It's alright. Hello, Lights Willow, how do you do? Woody Black, yes, I've had the coof, I have. Hello, Diazepam. Hello, David Schultz. Hello, Ree Radford. How do you do? Yeah. I've still got a bit of a sore throat. I think it's improved slightly, but I've still got a problem in my voice. It still sounds not right. Anyway, how are you guys getting on? The lines don't work. Have you thought about recording your books onto audio while you have the voice? It might work. I don't know. It's just like whenever I speak, it takes so much more effort to get the. It takes so much more puff to get my voice working. That's the thing. But I don't know how long it'll last. See, I don't know how long my voice is going to be like this. I don't know how long it's going to be like this. So I don't know really what I can do apart from carry on and just do what I normally do. And just hope it gets better. Because if I wait for it to get better, I could wait forever. This could be a kind of long COVID thing that's going to be here for ages. Oh, how you doing? Crafty Knight says you shouldn't be talking. Need to rest your throat. How long for though, Crafty? How long for? If this is some kind of long COVID thing, it's going to be with me for ages. What can I do? Anyway, guys, I'm going to assume you guys have seen the film. How much of you you've seen the film? How many of you have seen the actual movie? I hope you have. I'm guessing you guys have seen the film. What do you think of the film anyway? Oh, Woody Black's not seen it. Tina, I mean, Tina, you've seen it, haven't you? Yeah. What did you guys think of it? Those of you who've seen it. Oh, Lisa saw it. Lisa says long COVID is all bollocks. You need to get a couple of weeks off. Whatever it is, I mean, whatever you want to call it, Lisa. I could take a couple of weeks off, but I can't take that long off. I've been like this for a week already, so I don't know what to do. Stephen Truthicker, you've seen it. It's a good film, yeah. Tina thinks the film had some odd themes. It does indeed, yes. TK, hello TK. I can't have a sleep right now. I've just had about an hour's sleep. Yeah, missing time, says Tina. Lost clothing. Bodies found without shoes, yeah. Martin Taylor's seen it. It came over 30 years ago. It's almost 50 years ago now, Martin, it came out. But yeah, I mean, what struck me is it's very similar to some real missing cases that have been related. Thank Paul Curtis, thank you. I'll do that. I've got honey already. I've got lemon. And Stephen Truthicker says the movie had a very atmospheric atmosphere. Yeah, if that's not a tautology. I think the music did a lot of it. The sound effects and music were very, very good. The organ and panpipe music. The organ and panpipe music. The very the rumbling and rushing noise you hear near the rocks, which is on the soundtrack near the rocks. Like you can hear something's very strange. Oh, Linda Gordon. Hello, Linda. How do you do? Linda Gordon is watching. That's good. Just mentioned it on Facebook. Just going to share this around. But it's very, very like so many other real missing persons situations. Hello, Jam Noise. How you doing, Soul Sister? How you doing? Jam Noise says I should get some rest and not be talking. Probably it's going to go on. I don't know how long this is going to go on for. I won't make this very long, actually. Thanks, Jam Noise. I won't take this. I won't make this a very long one. It's like, hello, Huge R Souls. How do you do? Several people have suggested other. I've had 3 or 4 now suggestions for um, other films to do in other watch parties. So I've had like I think I'll go to the live streams now. The comments on the notice. Let's go to the comments on the notice. Oh, Tina. Hello. We'll go back down here. It says I've got 4 comments, but some. All right. Tina Silver says on the notice, Walkabout is an interesting film with hidden themes. It is, Tina. It's worth doing now. That's a good film. That's a very good film. Also set in Australia. Around a few years, it came a few years later, but it's a few years earlier. It's like early 70s, maybe 2 or 3 years earlier. I think it's 71 or 70. A very interesting film, though. David says maybe we should just films for watch parties, Ben. And I've had a number of requests already. And David says groovy. And Stephen Truseek actually wrote to me about this. What dreams may come? Yeah, that's a good one. Someone else has suggested another. It was what was the other one? Someone suggested someone suggested another one. So, because a lot of you saying that I sound knackered and I look knackered, and I suppose I am. I'm not. I've still got this bit of a sore throat, but it doesn't have to be very long live stream. I just wanted to get this done. What do you guys think about the film? So, I just wanted to know what you guys thought about the film. Oh, about what do you guys think about Picnic at Hanging Rock? Someone says here, nice name, mate. Don't listen to him. You look beautiful, mate. If I were a chick. So, what struck me is it's Stephen says I think it was based on a real event that happened. Not that it's been recorded, Stephen. I mean the film and indeed the book it's based on has the atmosphere of a based on a true story kind of thing. The book in particular. Hello, Rhiannon. How do you do? Oh, Rhiannon has commented on the film. Hang on a sec. Oh dear. I'm not at my best right now, I must say. I can't see it, Rhiannon. I'm sorry. I can't see it. What did you comment? Again, I can't see your comment. You commented about the film further up. I can't see it. I'm sorry. I can't see it. I just scrolled down. I just scrolled up. Crafty Nice think I should turn this off and rest. I can't, I'm afraid. I can't. It's I'm okay basically apart from my voice. So I'll get going in a minute. Could you repeat the comment, Rhiannon? Alright. Clearly a case of alien abduction, though. No doubt the uninitiated will see it simply as a tale of missing schoolgirls with a good helping of sexual repression. Well, the second half is definitely true, yeah. The sexual... Alright, so I see it now, Rhiannon, yeah. I see. I can't see it above. I've just scrolled up. It is about sexual repression, definitely. So it seems to be that they've reproduced the cultural attitudes of the time very well. So the fact that everyone is all very well dressed, everyone's a bit overdressed, I would say, by today's standards. Because as for me, I've actually experienced Australia in the summer, and it's very hot. Right, Stephen, give me a moment, will you? It's very hot. Yet the Mrs. Appleyard actually says to them, because it's such nice weather, once you get past the village, you can remove your gloves. You can remove your gloves. Hello, Armand Adams. How do you do? You can remove your gloves. I mean, is that the best that they can do is just remove their gloves? Because they go through a little town, a village, a nearby village, on their way to Hanging Rock from the school. So it is a sexually repressed time generally. I mean, 19th century was... it's just basically the end of... It's on the cusp of the 19th and 20th century. Which, of course, the higher you were up the social strata, the more you were controlled. If you look at some of the working class characters like Albert and Mr. Hussey, and they're more casually dressed. They don't wear ties and things like that. But the girls, of course, this is a girls' only school. They probably don't have any contact with boys. It looks like there's this situation with Miranda and Sarah, which appears to be sexual. I don't know about you. It's pretty overdone actually. It's very obvious. There's kind of a sexual feeling between them. Rhiannon says swans are sometimes used as a screen memory. I don't know swans I know that you see definitely the swan is used as a placeholder for Michael. For Miranda, because Michael, of course, is having these fantasies about Miranda. He's only seen her once, and he's become pretty obsessed with her. Armand says that owls use a screen memory. That's right, Armand. If you remember my review of for the Fourth Kind, if you remember that, definitely. Oh yes. Pat Wright says, did Liz and Phil have an alibi for the day of the disappearance? I don't know who Liz and Phil are. I don't think there's no. It's a weird thing because although the film focuses very much on the individuals, I don't think there's a character. I don't think those are the names of any of the characters, Pat. But even though no specific suspects are named, the local community are suspicious, and they feel Some of them mention the Irish, some of them mention the Polish. Sorry, they mention the Polish. It's the Irish guy that mentions the Polish. There was a lot of immigration into Australia at that time, and I think a lot of them are blaming some kind of human traffickers. Rhiannon, in the film, the swan is used as a placeholder for Miranda in Michael's mind, because Michael keeps seeing swans everywhere. There's even a swan in his bed, which of course wouldn't happen in real life. Hugh says no, it was 100 odd. Apparently a company or something. Look it up. Always reminds me of Picnic at Hanging Rock. I don't know what you mean, sorry. Rhiannon says the piano music was the second movement of Beethoven's Emperor Concerto, one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever. All right, I don't know which part you mean. I mean the actual the main theme with the panpipes. I don't know if that's a part of it. Yeah, it was derived from the traditional Romanian panpipes, played by Georgi Zamfir, and Marshall Cellier was the organist. There was some more. Bruce Smeaton provided original compositions. Other classics included, Adagio por un poco mosso from Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5 Emperor, performed by Istvan Antai, very good Hungarian name there. Performed by the Hungarian State Orchestra, yeah. Mm. There was actually something called Miranda's Theme from Picnic from a Hanging Rock, which released in 1976, which peaked at number 15 in the Australian singles charts. All right. Mm. Martin Taylor says Hanging Rock was a Skinwalker Ranch of its time. It was very similar, even though it was fictional. It was based on circumstances that like Skinwalker Ranch. The disappearances, to me, are like the missing 411, which David Paulides talks about. Benji says, do you think Mrs. Appleyard killed Sarah, or did she commit suicide? I don't know. Mrs. Appleyard herself, I think she committed. I think that was suicide, what Sarah did, and I think what Mrs. Appleyard also was a suicide. Although, of course, luckily in the revised, what's the word? Mrs. Appleyard, the actual death of Mrs. Appleyard wasn't covered in the director's cut. Weir actually cut that bit out, which is good, actually, because in the original, you see her go to Hanging Rock, and then she is like found, and it's reported that her body was found at the base of Hanging Rock. This is just reduced to basically some narration in the director's cut. Leon says, I think Sarah killed herself, but Mrs. Appleyard died of shock after seeing the alien craft. Yeah. Stephen's Trusic says, I think the film was based on a real event. Stephen, it was not. It is completely fictitious. However, it is similar to many. This is the weird thing. To this day, many people actually think it was, because it has the ambiance of being based on a true story, both the book and the film. And both the book and the film. Apparently, in the book, there was actually a missing chapter, a missing final chapter. Lisa says, if now else, all right, it epitomises the so-called rich people packing their offspring off these posh schools to be trained while the school makes a fortune without much love given. Not good, yeah. Lisa, I was Mrs. Appleyard. I found myself really despising Mrs. Appleyard. Not only is she a teacher, I'd hated to have her as a teacher at school. Sorry, I'd hate to have her as a teacher at school. Um, her 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 manner is very cold. She cares more about the school's reputation than she does about the welfare of the three missing girls. Armand says stories from the Messengers by Mike Cleland, all about owls. Owls, yeah. I met Mike Cleland once, yeah. I did. Stephen says it's an open portal with sex energy, yeah. Leanne says lots of posh people make their children call them by their first names rather than mum or dad, which is weird. Yeah. Now there's a missing. What happens in the chapter in the book, which it's based on, is the actual original book by Joan Lindsay has a final chapter which in the story comes after the end of the film, in which the mystery is resolved. It's known as chapter 18. It's published in a standalone story called The Secret of Hanging Rock. So Edith flees back to their picnic area while Miranda, Irma and Marion, after they disappear, each girl begins to experience dizziness to feel as if she's being pulled from the inside out. A woman suddenly appears climbing the rock in her underwear, shouting through, and then faints. The woman is not. I suppose that's Miss McCraw. She's not referenced though, but the narration suggests he's Miss McCraw. Miranda loosens the woman's corset and helps to revive her. Afterwards, the girls remove their own corsets and throw them off the cliff. The recovered woman points out that the corsets appear to hover in mid-air if stuck in time, and that they cast no shadows. Then Miss McCraw and the girls continue together. The girls then encounter what is described as a hole in space, which they then physically enter a crack in the rock. Following a lizard, the unnamed woman transforms into a crab and disappears into the rock. Marion follows her, then Miranda. But when Irma's turn comes, Irma, a balanced boulder, slowly tilts and blocks the way. The chapter ends with Irma tearing and beating the gritty face of the boulder with her bare hands. Of course, Irma is the one who comes back. The missing material amounts to about 12 pages. The remainder of the publication, Secret of Hanging Rock, contains discussion by other authors, including John Taylor and Yvonne Rousseau. The suspension of the corsets and description of the hole in space suggest the girls have encountered some sort of time warp, which is comparable with Lindsay's fascination with an emphasis on clocks and time in the story. The transformation into animals recalls traditional indigenous Australian beliefs. Now, the problem is, if there were such things as real time warps, we'd be continuously being visited by people from other times all the time, it doesn't happen. I mean, there's people like John Titor, who is very unconvincing, but we'd be continuously visited by other people all the time. Where are we now? Lisa says lots of bitter, frustrated old spinsters. Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what it's like. Leanne says, to defend Mrs. Appleyard, she's a single woman trying to run a business, where reputation is everything, not easy now, let alone in Edwardian times. Maybe, yeah, it's fair enough, but I found she seems more concerned with that than the welfare of the girls, though, Rhiannon. Benji said, did anyone watch the remake miniseries a few years ago? I couldn't, no way it would be as good as the film. I haven't actually seen that, no. I thought about watching it, but I don't know, remakes just... Whenever I watch a remake of something, I end up feeling like... I feel like something, when I've watched something's really good and I watch a remake, it feels like something's been taken from the film. something has been stolen, something has been ripped out in the original film. That's how it feels. What's the David Paulides, what he talks about, the missing, he says there's certain features. There's a new Missing 411 film coming out, actually. A new one that's emerging. There's certain... I don't know if you're familiar with the... yeah, the missing in UFOs, I think it is. But there was a... there are a number of... I don't know if you know what is observables. You know the 5 observables of UAP. There is something observables with the missing 411. I'll see if I can find it. I'm just going to see if I can find it right now. But the missing in UFOs, I've got to see that at some point. I've got to see that. I'm just going to see if I can find it. Hope you guys are alright. I'm not going to make this a long one if you don't mind. So Honourable says I look sick or drunk. I'm not drunk. Brett Riverboat says you don't look well. Get rest, guy. I won't make this a long one if you don't mind. I won't make this a long one. Hello, Alan Tate. How you doing? It's out on the 13th of November. That's right. There are a lot of good things coming out. Apparently, there's the one by James Fox about the. There's a very good one about the Brazilian case. One sec, guys. I'm just trying to find the observables.
South to Schuylerville, and the victim disappears. We call this the point.
Here we go.
It's quite a coincidence that 2 elderly men, both hunters, disappeared from a rural area.
One sec, guys. So I'm not at my best right now. I'm sorry, I'm not at my best. I won't make this a long one. I'm not drunk. I'm just not too well right now. Yeah, I've not been well lately, guys. I had the coof, I had something like the coof, and then I've still got this like sore throat, this like husky voice.
Second.
In a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. An animal.
Elderly as we are.
Here we go, guys. I'm just gonna let me just does it not remind you of the film we're talking about here? Come on in. This old guy went missing here.
I'd kind of like to know what happened.
Strange. It wasn't something you normally hear.
This is his old guy, his 82-year-old guy, Hunter, went missing. Sensible guy, you know, outdoorsman, World War II veteran. Just vanished on a hunting trip. And everyone should know where he was. There's no way he could just have got lost. The sniffer dogs couldn't trace him. They could only trace him to where he was, his waiting place, where he was hunting.
Fred lived on his rural farm with his wife. Fred was a retired supervisor from his town, was an outdoorsman. On Thanksgiving Day of 2015,
Yeah, see, look, point of separation, time of disappearance, boulder fields. Now that's like Hanging Rock, near water, weather event. Now the weather event thing is rather like someone mentioned a cloud, didn't they? They mentioned a red cloud. One of the witnesses. Now this didn't appear in the film, but someone mentions a red cloud. They saw a red cloud. Disability or illness, I don't think that's the case. Geographical clustering, I don't know if and you see, in the story, of course this is not real. This is not real, this is a story, but it's similar to a real story. Are there other cases of people going missing in a certain location? Unknown cause of death, well, no bodies were found, just one person was missing clothing. Again, they do find little bits of clothing, and Michael finds a piece of clothing, doesn't he? He hands it to Albert. He goes up there and he spends the night there, and he finds a little piece of their clothing. And then this beer, found in an area previously searched. That's the return of Irma, isn't it? Irma is found by Albert, just sitting there, completely in the open, in an area that's previously been searched. Canines can't track again. That's the case. That's certainly the case with. That's certainly the case with the story, because they use sniffer dogs who can't track them. Lisa says, we'll be angry if you don't stop and rest. Sorry, Lisa, I'm going to keep going for the time being. I won't be much longer. I just want to know what you guys think about the film. Nihilus says, Ben sounds like the male Mariella Frostrop. Oh god, she's annoying. She's really annoying. Yeah. It seems it's improved a little bit, actually, my voice. Crafty Nihilus. It's Mark of the Crafty Nihilus says, there's a whole history of children being lost in the bush in Australia. A book called Country of Lost Children includes a bit about the picnic at Hanging Rock. Oh, right. Country of Lost Children. Oh, right. Let's have a look at that. Because, of course, this does happen in Australia. I mean, Paulides focuses on the US and Canada, North America. But it is a global phenomenon. Here we go. The Country of Lost Children, an Australian anxiety paperback. By Peter Pearce. I'll show you on Goodreads. Hang on. There we go. The figure of the lost child has haunted the Australian imagination. Peter Pearce's original and sometimes shocking study. The Country of Lost Children traces this ambivalent and disturbing history, drawing on a wide range of sources from poetry, fiction, and newspaper reports. Fiction, of course, being Picnic at Hanging Rock. Yeah. The Country of Lost Children analyses the cultural and moral implication of the lost child in Australian history and illuminates a crucial aspect of our present condition. And its core are confronting, often troubling questions about childhood itself. Yeah, it's a cultural phenomenon, but it's based on real events. Even though, of course, it is. Excuse me. Peter Pearce is a professional Australian lecturer at James Cook University. Right. even though it's based on, even though it does appear in fictional, if in fictional form, as indeed is the picnic at Hanging Rock is the obvious example. This is one of the most famous Australian stories about that very thing. Oh. Hello David, how do you do? Well, we know. Stephen Truthtaker. I think some of it is good people taking people, other cases of paranormal. Well, yeah, I mean, in the case of people taking other people, I mean, that does happen. I mean, you know, one of the characters in the story mention Polish human traffickers who wander around looking for young girls to kidnap. And the theory is that this guy believes, and indeed this is what most people in the community believe, that the girls have basically been taken by these Polish human traffickers. There's a lot of like ethnic tension in the area. The Polish are often blamed. But of course that doesn't fit with the evidence. You know, the idea, more and more it feels like it has this supernatural element to it. It's much more like the kind of thing that David Paulides talks about, even though this was set well over a century and written 30, 40 years before David Paulides began his investigation. David says, if you've started to feel any worse, please get yourself down to John Radcliffe Hospital. Don't be a martyr. Oh God, I wouldn't go there. My life depended on it. Oh God, seen too much from the inside, mate. Lisa says, no, Lisa, I agree. I need to stay well away from those places. Liz from the Crafty Knife says, Mark's book bangs on about kids going missing in Australia too. The Lost Child by Mark Crafty. Oh, this is this one. I've only read about half of it. Well, The Individual, this one. I've read about half of it. I haven't finished it yet, Mark. Sorry. Here's the book anyway. The Individual by, you can just see Mark Froud, designed by Liz Froud in the cover. Hello David Splendid Isolation, how are you? Oh, thanks for the link about apple cider vinegar, Lisa, thank you very much. David says the most famous example in the Bible of a man winking out at the world is the disappearances Enoch, whom God took to heaven before he naturally died. You know, I do hope that for these people who go missing it is something like that. Oh no, that's his novel. Alright, Crafty, it's not the same book. Okay. Now, Israel Diego Rivera says, have you heard of the megalania? This is a huge Australian lizard that could have eaten the girls. I think I've heard of it, yeah. I think they're extinct though, aren't they? I mean, here we are, megalania. It's an extinct species of giant monitor lizard that inhabited Australia in the Pleistocene. Estimated 11 to 23 feet in length, weighing up to 4,000 pounds. I mean, thing is, it's extinct. I know there are some things in Australia you might think are extinct, but like, for example, Richard Freeman is convinced that the Thylacine still exists. It's still alive. Let's have a look. Look at how big it is here. That's number 3 there. That's the megalania. It's massive, isn't it? It's huge. But it's extinct. Unless... Extinction The youngest remains of the species dates the late Pleistocene, with the youngest remains possible being approximately 50,000 years ago from the Mount Etna Caves National Park, Queensland. Confrontations between the Megalania and early Aborigines may have inspired tales of fearsome creatures such as the Hui. Yeah. The thing about this, even if somehow it was still alive, even if somehow that creature was still alive, you got to ask yourself the question though that you need to ask yourself the question: how there's no evidence? I mean, there's no blood, there's no sign of struggle, there's no sign of any struggle. There's no the dogs didn't pick anything up. It's like the people who claim that the missing 411. Oh, it's just bears. It's just bears. They grab them, bears and cougars and other forms of natural predators grab them. Stephen Truthseeker says, I nearly got taken when I was young. Oh, by what? Oh, my God. Pat Wright says, I remember an advert for the film saying it was based on actual events. Must have been wrong. Pat, the film and the book are presented as if they're based on a true story. There's even, in the book, there's even like fake police reports and things like that. Max Q's asking about Alex Jones. I know that came up earlier. Max Q, let's can we stay on topic tonight? Is that all right? But I'll if you want to leave a comment on the actual video, Alex Jones in court, I'll answer it on the next comments reply video. Pat Wright says Tony Robinson did a documentary about the Aussie King. Oh, I don't know that. Right. Diego, have any thoughts on the DART mission? Oh, God. That's the asteroid impact evasion thing. Yeah. Can I talk about that another time, please, Diego Rivera? Knowledge Lives Matter says swallowed whole. What do you mean? David says most creatures grew much larger in the antediluvian world. There was likely greater air pressure and oxygen content in the atmosphere. Could be, yeah, could well be. The insects certainly in the very ancient world were much larger than today because there was a higher oxygen content. Experiments inside Davis SI says. Experiments inside pressurized vacuum chambers have shown beneficial effects, faster healing of wounds. Max Q says it wasn't your kids that got shot to pieces, was it? Max, Lisa makes a good point here. Why don't you, Max? Why don't you try addressing Lisa's point rather than insulting her? Max says, "Benny, look like death warmed up. Get yourself to bed. Down the doctors tomorrow." I won't. I can't go to bed. I'm going to do this, Max. But I am still like. I still have a little bit of problem with my voice. It's like it takes a lot of breath. It's like it takes a lot of breath to make myself speak. So I won't make this too long if you don't mind. Hello Barry Fridge, how do you do? Dave, I had COVID, I don't have it anymore. But I have like an after effect of it. Something similar. Max Q says, I addressed her point prior, I didn't insult her. Well, you did. You said it's not her kids that got shot. Well, that's like saying, oh, well, what would you know? You know, you shouldn't be involved because, or you've got no right to comment because, or you're going to be, you're in this pool of privilege, so therefore, etc., etc. That is insulting. Pat says, creatures were much larger in the past. My first wife was huge compared to my second. And Max, you remind me actually of the people who say, if you question the official story of 9/11, if you question it, then you're insulting the people who died and you're heartless towards the loved ones who still exist, who are around. Have you ever seen my video called Show Some Respect or read my poem? Well, Max says, not at all. It's a total misrepresentation of what you said. Can I quote you, Max? Quote, well, it wasn't your kids that got shot to pieces, is it, Lisa? Is that a misquote? Is it? Am I misquoting you, Lisa? Am I misquoting you, Max? Max says, that's it, I'm alright, suit yourself, Max. That's up to you. That's up to you. If you want to leave, you can leave. But how have I misrepresented you? It's not. Yeah, it's the idea. It's this idea. I see this with 9/11 all the time, and you get it everywhere. No doubt, people who say this about missing people say the same thing. Why do you cause pain? Why do you want to hurt the loved ones of those who died? Why are you so disrespectful to the memory of those who died? Can't you just believe the official story? That is the only way you can show respect and sensitivity. Well, why is that? It seems to me, Max, and I know you're gone now anyway, but it seems very convenient that whoever's promoting the official story, it seems pretty. It's pretty convenient. It seems rather convenient. That's the only way you can be respectful in this case is to do that. Is to believe the official story. That's the only way you can show any respect. All right. Crafty Nile says, Ben, do your Guardian voice, Brian Coxon. Oh, go on. I can't. I'm Professor Brian. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it until my voice is fixed. Women. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till my voice is better. It can't last forever. It's gonna get better sooner or later. Benji says, there's something scary about the Australian landscape. This movie, Walkabout Mad Max, Cry in the Dark and others capture it so well. Makes you wonder what's going on at Pine Gap. Yeah. Pine Gap. That's a weird thing, isn't it? That Pine Gap is it's... Here we go, Pine Gap. There's a TV series I've not seen actually about Pine Gap. Satellite surveillance space near Alice Springs. Now, most of the people, it's one of the biggest employers in the area as well. I've been to Alice Springs. If you ask anyone who works there, what do you do? They'll say, oh, I'm a cleaner, I'm a storeman, something like that. Known as the Joint Defense Space Research Facility, partly run by the CIA and the NSA and the NRO, and also with a little bit of help from the Australians as well. It's It's mostly American, this place, even though it's in Australia. There's a massive computer complex, 38 radomes, over 800 employees. Yeah, I'd say it's one of the biggest employers in the area. It's become a key part of the local economy. There's actually something very similar in England. This is RAF Menwith Hill, which is actually very similar. RAF Menwith Hill is in Harrogate, North Yorkshire. It's near Harrogate. And it plays a very similar role. It's very similar to Pine Gap. It's basically run by various it's part of Echelon, the international electronic surveillance agency and things like that. Hello Donna Wellham, how do you do? Where are we now? Who am I leaving there behind? Oh, Rhiannon. David says this film called The Last Wave. Oh right, not seen that. Which is Australian film. The Last Wave, not heard of that. There's a lot of these kind of spooky films in Australia, actually. Australia seem to like this sort of thing. Australian mystery drama film. Oh, it's a Peter Weir film too, right. It's about a solicitor in Sydney who's a seemingly normal life. He's disrupted after he takes on a murder case and discovers that he shares a strange mystical connection with a small group of local Aborigines. Right. Richard Chamberlain, that's right. Vivian Grey is in it. Alright, there you go. It's interesting. Yes, Vivian Grey, who's in Picnic and Hanging Rock. As I said, they've only got about a couple of dozen actors in Australia. Hello, Nocturnal Frequency Radio. How do you do? No, that's large matter. Brian Cox always sounds like he's about to weep, like someone's stolen his extra greasy lip balm. Oh, someone sent me a comedy video of a guy taking a parodying. It was very good. Joe Bowie, hello. This is actually just cordial. The answer is, I don't think you look unwell. You just sound a bit husky. Yeah. Oh yeah, it just takes effort to speak because it takes a lot of effort to when my voice is like this. It has improved slightly, I think, from the last time I did a video. It's improved a little bit, I'd say. I'll go through this. I've been through the comments, haven't I? I think I've been through the notice comments. But several people have asked me of Club says I'm flagging like the alien in the alien interview. I'm not at my best right now. Actually, I don't what's up with me. I'll call it a night soon. Actually. Several people have made requests for other videos, other films to do as watch parties. I've had about 3 requests. Stephen Trueseeker mentions What Dreams May Come. Do you guys fancy that? Because What Dreams May Come is quite a good. It's quite a good film actually. I think that's a good movie. Do you fancy doing that for a future watch party? Maybe I can do that in the next couple of weeks. Sounds like that's all right, isn't it? It's oh, you're welcome, Joe. Joe says thanks for making the effort to do it. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm not much. I'm not. I'm not to my usual standards tonight, guys. Sorry about that. Does anyone else want to say anything else about Picnic at Hanging Rock? Because I think we've covered it all. Really, I can't. Sorry, my voice is. Hopefully, it can't last forever. I mean, it's gotta be better soon. But does anyone want to add anything else? If not, I'll call it a night. Actually, if you don't mind. Nobody? Alright. Garlic capsules. As long as they can be, as long as they're suppositories and not orally, I don't want to stink the place out. I don't mind doing poos that smelly. I just don't want bad breath. Diego, is your conclusion aliens? Well, it's a fictional scenario, so it's left open to the interpretation of the viewer, reader, because of course the final chapter was removed from the original book. Yeah, I need to get some rest, guys. Definitely aliens. Well, you see, there are people. Rhiannon says it's aliens. I'm Crafty Nice. I'm not going to ask you about disclosure tonight. Thank you to Crafty. That's very kind. David says, I wonder what David Paulides thinks of Picnic at Hanging Rock. Has he seen it? I might ask him. I mean, I might send him an email. I'm sure he's mentioned it at some point, because the film, even though the film is much older than when it started, before he began his research, the book was written in the 60s, yet the fictional scenario is exactly of the kind of case he talks about. So even if it itself is not a real story, I do wonder if the author had heard about similar stories. Maybe there are similar cases in Australia. And indeed, that book I showed you about the missing children seems to be about that. Because the story is exactly the kind of thing he talks about. And it's done so well. I mean, it's done. The atmospheric is so atmospheric. The combination of sound effects and visual effects. The heat haze. Apparently, Weir put different kinds of fabric over the lens to create a certain kind of style of lighting effects. The fact that Miranda, Irma, and Marion, the three girls, get up, they just walk away without a word. And Edith is she knows something's really badly wrong, shouting and screaming, "Come back! What's up? What's up? What's up?" Screaming. And Dr. Jonathan thinks, she says, I sound possessed. Stephen, was the final chapter removed because of censorship? It was removed because the editor advised the author to remove it, and she removed it. I don't think it's based on a true story, Stephen. I don't think it is. It's not a true story, although it could have been inspired by real events. David says, ask me about Benjamin Bathurst. Who's he? Never heard of him. Sorry, David. And they just sort of walk off off the phrase. Clopper. Have you ever seen The Third Phase of the Moon? Yes, I watch it quite a lot. I watch a lot of them. I know not every single video, but I watch a lot of them. Yeah. There's some very interesting stuff on Third Phase. David says, hi Ben, I'd love a watch party on Richard D. Hall's documentary about human mutilations. It'd be interesting to listen to people's opinions on this sensitive subject. Yeah, it would. I mean, I think a watch party is the wrong. A watch party tends to be for feature films, but certainly that's a good idea. I'm happy to discuss that subject. Yeah. Martin Tennis, future Lord of the Flies. All right. Now that's yeah. I've read the book. I know there's several films of it. I've read the book. Um, David says Benjamin Bathurst was one of the most famous examples of someone disappearing. British diplomat vanished in full view of his official entourage as he walked around the horses. All right, right. I'll have a look at that. Benjamin. Bathurst. Diplomat, yeah. 18th of March 1984 to sometime in 1809, a British diplomatic envoy who disappeared in Prussia during the Napoleonic Wars. Disappearance. Bathurst and his courier travelled under the alias and stopped at Perlberg, west of Berlin. After ordering fresh horses at the post house, they walked to a nearby inn called the White Swan. After ordering dinner, Bathurst is said to have spent several hours writing in a small room in the inn. The travellers' departure was delayed until 9 p.m. and they were told the horses were about to be harnessed. Bathurst immediately left his room, followed shortly by Kraus, who was surprised to find Bathurst was not in the carriage when he reached it, and was nowhere to be found. The disappearance did not create much excitement at the time, since the country was infested with bandits and stragglers from Napoleon's army. Murders and robberies were common. The loss of one commercial traveller was barely noticed. News of the disappearance did not reach England for some weeks. Oh, my voice is giving out. A reward of 500 thalers was offered for any news. Never been found though, apparently. That's interesting, right? Thanks, David, for that. Thank you, David. Splendid isolation, yeah. Nocturnal Frequencies Radio said worked on Beyond that covered the case in Brazil in the late 80s. Alright, what was that, Nocturnal Frequency Radio? There's a lot of rather grim things in Brazil, I found, when it comes to UFOs and stuff. David says, in fact, Charles Fort said the shortest strange story, he walked around the horses. Yeah, just vanished. He says, I wish we could get politicians to vanish so easily, yeah. Yeah, did they get zapped? Did they disappear? What is it? Yeah. Demons are real to Stephen. Yeah, they are. Diego versus Lord Lucan. No, Lord Lucan's different. I mean, I don't think there's really any mystery about what happened with Lord Lucan. Lord Lucan, there was a body found. I think it's pretty obvious what happened with Lord Lucan. Yeah, there was a dead body was found. Sandra Rivet, who was working for him, and she was found dead in his house. Sandra was bludgeoned to death, and her killer placed her on a mailbag. And then Lord Lucan then disappeared. Lord Lucan walked upstairs to one of the bedroom. I think what happened with Lord Lucan was not a mystery. I think he probably killed her, and then he used his influence, he used his position to get a new identity. I think there's no real mystery there. That's not a Paulidian disappearance. David says Bathurst was briefly out of view behind the horses and then was gone. Yeah. David, it sounds very similar to Alex Cleghorn. Have you seen my video? You've seen my Glasgow video, the Scottish UFO Paranormal Conference. Because that sounds very similar to Alex Cleghorn. Now this was a chap who disappeared. I think it was early 60s. If I can find it, if there's any reference to it. Alex Cleghorn. Unsolved murder. Alright, it's more like a disappearance. Here we go. I'm pressing, nothing's happening. This happened at Hogmanay, New Year's Eve. This is New Year's Eve. The early hours of the 1st of January 1966. A 19-year-old Alex Cleghorn was first footing with his two elder brothers along Govan Road in Glasgow. Suddenly, Alex just vanished and was never seen again. The following New Year's morning, the two brothers were planning to first foot along the same route, passing the spot of the disappearance, in the hope that somehow Alex would return. I actually mentioned this. I actually went to the location. If you watch my video, Glasgow, the UFO Paranormal Conference. Alex Cleghorn, David, yeah, it is. Hello, Sunflower. I'm going to finish in a minute, actually. Yeah. Crafty, were the McCanns on holiday in Australia? No, Portugal. Now, there's a weird case in Australia, which I don't think is a mystery. I think it's a kind of true crime kind of thing. But it refers to a guy called Ian Murdoch. He's in jail right now. How many of you have heard of Ian Murdoch? He's in Australia. He's in jail. He was accused of murdering a British tourist and kidnapping his girlfriend. And it sounds pretty dodgy, actually. It sounds like a pretty dodgy case. Here we go. So Bradley John Murdoch. He's an Australian criminal serving life imprisonment. In July 2001, he murdered the English backpacker Peter Falconio and kidnapped his girlfriend Joanne Lees. This is a little bit dodgy, actually, what happened. How many of you are familiar with this case? Basically, Joanne Lees, the girlfriend of this guy, Joanne Lees was a woman whose boyfriend was called Peter Falconio, and they were driving along the Stuart Highway in the Northern Territory, then there's no real. They were just driving along. Now, according to Joanne Lee, some bloke waved them down, and then got a gun out and threatened them, and tied up his girlfriend and dragged her away. She managed to escape. Here we go. July 14th, 2001. They were travelling on the Stuart Highway. Falcone was driving and Lee sat next to him in the passenger seat. The two had been conscious of a car that had been following them. They wait to be overtaken, but the vehicle drew alongside and the driver gestured for them to pull over. Falconio stopped and went to speak to the driver. And the man said there were sparks coming out of the vehicle's exhaust. But they went to the rear of the vehicle and she heard a loud bang from the rear of the van, a gunshot. And a moment later, a man was at the window with a silver gun pointing at her. He then tied Joanne Lee's hand behind her back and put tape over her mouth and dragged she was then dragged to the Toyota van, but she managed to escape and run away. The gunman then searched for her. She was hiding in the bushes, and then drove away. And then she came out and flagged down a lorry driver, who took her to the nearest town. And she called the police. Now there's something a little bit dodgy about this, because the police went to the location. They couldn't find any footprints apart from Volconio's and Lisa's. And again, they couldn't. There was also the sniffer dogs couldn't find any scent of anyone. They finally arrested this guy, Bradley John Murdoch, from a rather flimsy case of DNA. I mean, they found a tiny bit of DNA from Volconio in his car. Yet he claims that they'd just been in the same shop, and apparently they had been in the same shop earlier on, and he could easily have picked up the DNA there. And Murdoch's been offered sweetheart deals, like they said to him at one point. He could get like a he was offered a early parole and transfer to a lower security jail where the conditions would be a lot better. If only he told us where the body of Peter Volconio was. And he says, I can't tell you where the body is. I can't tell you where the body is because I didn't kill him. See, at that point, wouldn't he have just agreed? I mean, to me, that's a bit dodgy. Makes me wonder what really happened to that young man. Hello, everyone. Hello, Hugo Rune. Hello. Hello, Denzi. How are you doing? Who else is there? Hello, Denzi. Yeah. Brian Clare, good evening. So I can't help wondering if if something else happened to that young man. Maybe she had something to do with it. It's like if it's a case of Azaria Chamberlain, a young baby who apparently disappeared. Apparently she disappeared while they were on holiday near. The mother eventually got prosecuted for it, and to be honest, she said that a dingo took the baby, which didn't make any sense. She said that's not what dingoes normally do. There was no footprints of any dingoes, there was no scent of any dingoes, things like that. Nocturnal frequency radio was mentioning, what's that? About 180,000 people go missing in the UK every year. I can well believe it, yeah. I don't know what case you're referring to, nocturnal frequency. Leon says it's not the same. Nobody denies people died in 9/11. The issue is the cause. In the other situation, some deny it. Everyone dies. That's hurtful to the families. It's not the same. Yeah, I mean, it depends if it's true, though, Rhiannon, doesn't it? It depends if it's true or not. If you're referring to SH, all right. Does anyone have anything more to add? It's just an idea in Australia. There's this kind of out of sight, out of mind sort of situation in Australia. Oh, right. Nocturnal frequency radio mentions the human mutilation case in Brazil in 1988. Yeah, that's the body at the lake. There's more than one actually of those situations. There's another. Brazil seems to get more than its fair share of the sinister, nasty ones, actually, when it comes to paranormal stuff. Rihanna thinks it was vultures. There were vultures seen around the body, yeah. Hello, United of People, how do you do? Does anyone want anything else about this thing? Because I'll call it a night, actually, because I'm not at my best right now. Does anyone want to add anything else? Oh, the vultures were ruled out. This is the case of the body on the lake. There's a bedtime story video about that. No, crafty nice. I think I'll call it a night if you don't mind. I'm sorry this has been such a lousy. Hello, Joe Bowie. What's that, Bowie? I wish someone told me. I had the same bug for weeks on end. Writing on bits of cardboard to my lovely mates. Alright. David Ben, it's not like any. But do you live underground in a cellar? No, it's actually it's a ground floor flat. Alright guys, body technician, night. Yeah, I'm sorry it's not better. I think we've covered the night. We've covered, I think, the picnic at Hanging Rock. Nora Quinn, oh blimey. I'll look that up afterwards, Armand, if you don't mind. But my voice is still not back. I don't know how long this is going to last. This could be a hot toddy, says Lisa. Yeah, I'll get something down me like that. This could be a kind of long C word thing. Hope not, but I'll get another video done as soon as I can. Alright guys. But take it easy all of you, and thank you very much. I appreciate you being on the show. Alright, Craft, I will. Take it easy, you lot. All the best.